the criminal justice system, snitching on the Clintons is considered especially dangerous. In the United... excuse me.
Is that him?
Who are you?
Yeah, that's the guy who can't keep his mouth shut.
Oh, boy.
I've been framed, I have! This is ridiculous!
Put your hand on the Bible.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Well, do you? Do you? Oh my goodness! She killed herself!
And welcome to the JAZ McKAY Show, and you're looking right there at you're looking at a very sad picture right there. Very sad picture. You want to see another sad picture? I'll show you another sad picture. Right there. Right there. Another sad picture. What has happened to this country? What has happened to this country? I'll tell you. The founders of our country, and they were great men, despite what some people tell you. Well, you all know that. I don't have to explain that to you. Not to my audience, anyway. But we got new people tuning into this podcast every day on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook Live who might not be familiar with me or what's going on here. And so let me explain something, just for the benefit of anybody new that isn't really familiar with, where I stand on all of this, and my reverence for the founding fathers of the United States of America. The founders of this country, the founders did not intend for our nation to have an official national religion. And certainly not an official national denomination. Yet we do. The religion, and I've talked about this for years when I was doing radio, is cultural Marxism. Now, I used to say that the religion was liberalism, but it no longer. But that really wasn't even what it was back then. It's always been cultural Marxism, but it was watered down and presented to us as a compassionate, caring, giving, so nice, smiley face leftism, progressivism, a dualistic faith according to which the core population that created the country is intrinsically evil. A belief that anyone opposed to their intentions for our country are intrinsically evil. And that would include me, because I'm opposed to their plans for our country. This cultural Marxist religion, and we've seen it, you see the white people down on their hands and knees bowing to the cultural Marxists, kissing their feet. We saw this, I showed you this video earlier this week, but this denomination of cultural Marxist religious fanatics is the alarmingly radical sect of these cultural Marxists that call themselves Black Lives Matter. Now, I'm not talking, and let me clarify, and I'm going to do it now, and I'm never going to say this again, because if there's anything I hate, it's these namby-pamby, gutless, chicken-bone, baby-fied trumpet monkeys who constantly have to remind you, well, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not talking about all this, or I'm not talking. Now, not all the protesters are bad. And let's differentiate. Now, there's nothing wrong with protest. I'm sick of that shit. And I'm not going to say that anymore. And I'm not going to say this more than once, and I'm going to say it right now. I've said it a few times. Black Lives Matter, as a phrase, I have no problem with, okay? But Black Lives Matter Incorporated, the organization, the company, however you want to look at it, I got a big problem with, okay? So I'm going to say that now and get it out of the way. And from now on, when I say Black Lives Matter, I'm referring to Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the phrase. I'm no longer going to clarify that. If you don't get it and you don't understand, the hell with you. Okay? The hell with you. Black Lives Matter, this group that hates, the core population of this group carries just absolute hatred channeled into the combination of economic Marxism and violent black separatism and black supremacy that is not unlike what we saw in the 1960s and early 70s with the Black Panthers. And in place of the Trinity, this particular sect of religion, in place of the Trinity, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, Black Lives Matter requires that we fall to our knees, that we regard their deities as their saints, if you will. Okay, their version of the saintly are black criminals who died in police custody. There, I said it. Okay? And I'm also not going to say this anymore. I'm going to say it now one last time. George Floyd did not deserve to die. What happened to George Floyd was horrible. Okay? It really was. But let's face it, the guy was a criminal. What happened to the dude in Atlanta that got shot by the cop? that was bad. That was horrible that he died, but he brought it on himself. I'm not gonna go back to this stuff anymore and say, well, they didn't deserve to die. No, of course they didn't, and everyone knows that. Let's just shut the fuck up about that crap anymore, okay? But Major League Baseball, I just want to say this about what happened yesterday. Was opening day. I'm not a baseball fan. I love the game of baseball, but I'm not a Major League Baseball fan. I got no dog in that hunt. Never have. I just never have. I played baseball as a kid. Who hasn't? Who didn't play baseball as a kid? Boys and girls. We all grew up playing baseball, right? Playing baseball, playing football. Now it's soccer. That's another topic. We'll get into it another time. But Major League Baseball has confirmed now that, and they did this yesterday, that Black Lives Matter is the church. Black Lives Matter is the church at which all Americans are now required to worship. Black Lives Matter is now that and if you don't worship Black Lives Matter, you will be accused of heresy and you will be canceled. Your job will be canceled. Your life will be canceled. You have to fall to your knees. They showed this last night. They proved this last night. The Yankees. The first games of the season, again, I don't watch baseball. I'm not a baseball fan. I don't watch these games. But the first games of the season yesterday took place. The only way to describe it is they played the sport. They played the game of baseball after a grotesque ceremony in which the players knelt in obedience, bowing to Black Lives Matter while holding a black ribbon symbolizing all that they are all united in their religion, in their faith for BLM. Look at this. Just look at that. Every player. Look at that. Every coach on the Yankees and the Nationals taking a knee before the national anthem in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Look at that. And that, if you see this, the ribbon, the big black ribbon to symbolize their obedience. Look at them. Look at that shit. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah, I'm pissed off. And you know what I always say, man. This is my my mantra. If I had one, this would be it. If you're not pissed off, you're not fucking paying attention. And you better get. Somebody the other day, I put up a meme about teachers on Facebook, and I had someone comment, "Why are you so angry? Does nobody love you?" And I said, you know what? And I responded. Didn't get mean, didn't get nasty, because I don't believe that we should, I don't think we should be mean to stupid people. But the meme basically was a picture of an empty classroom, a school classroom. And I said, guess what? And I'll talk about this in a second, too, if I have time. I said, guess what? To all of you teachers who refuse to go back into the fucking classroom this fall, you should all lose your jobs. You should cease getting paid. Because you know what's going on, right? The teachers' unions are making their demands, as always, for apparently, as far as I can tell, this light is right in my face. From all I can tell, for no reason. And the school boards are all obediently following whatever it is that the teachers' unions tell them, just like they always do. It's something else I've always said, too. I'm getting sidetracked here. But the teacher, the most dangerous, I'm going to tell you right now, up until Black Lives Matter became what they became after George Floyd, which they've been doing this shit since Trayvon Martin. So this is nothing new, and I've been keeping a close eye on them since the Trayvon Martin days and George Zimmerman. But what the teacher, up until now, I have said that the most dangerous organization in this country is the teachers' unions. People just go, what are you talking about? The teachers union? Why would you say teachers union? Well, Jazz, what about you can name off anything. What about the Islamic jihadists or something like that? And I was saying, no, look, as a matter of fact, I went further than just saying America. I said the most dangerous group in the world are the teachers' unions, because those are the people who are responsible, the teachers, of educating our kids. And those unions, they carry all the power and all the weight. Don't you think for 1 minute that you as a parent have any control? You can take all your PTAs and shove them right up your ass, because your PTAs don't mean shit. Your parent-teacher association doesn't mean shit. May as well do away with the P part of the PTA and just call it the Teachers Association. And the unions rule over the teachers, and the unions rule over the school boards, and the unions rule over, especially here in California, the unions rule over everybody. But the teachers' unions tell the school boards and the politicians, because they're unions, because they are unions, especially here in California, and I'm speaking to you from Bakersfield, California, USA. The unions control our politicians, and therefore they control the state. And frankly, they control the Democrat Party, which controls the state. Anything the unions want, that's what the politicians, they're paying them back. They owe them. The unions, especially public employee unions, they own the politicians who write the laws. And I think that's true nationwide, but in particular in California, where this is a one-party state, one-party rule in the state of California. Only the Democrats are allowed to legislate. Only Democrats are allowed to get elected. Some Republicans get elected in certain pockets, in certain areas, in certain districts around the state. But the way things are set up, they've been working very diligently. I don't know if some of you from outside of California realize it, but we've got the most fucked up primary system in the history of politics. You're probably, those of you outside of California may not know this. Some people in California don't even know this. But in the general elections, in many districts, we end up with two Democrats going at each other after a primary where the Republicans are completely shut out. It's the top two vote getters, not from two separate parties or from all the parties. It's whoever the top two vote getters are, regardless of what their party affiliation is. And one thing you're never going to have in the state of California are two Republicans going at it. You're just not. It's not going to happen. So this is a one-party state. It's a Democrat state. It's a Democrat Party state. In other words, the Socialist Workers' Party, the Communist Manifesto Party, the Black Lives Matter Party, the Marxist Party. That's the Democrat Party today. all Democrats, I'm not speaking, and again, I'm so sick and tired of qualifying fucking statements. I'm sick of it. I'm just fucking sick of it. I'm not talking about the constituents. Not all Democrat voters are communists, but they're useful idiots, as Vladimir Lenin referred to them during his reign in the Soviet Union. They are communists. The Democrat leadership, the Democrat politicians, they are not liberals. We got to stop calling them that and call them what they are: cultural Marxists, radicals, radical Marxists, communists. And the leadership within all of the public employee unions, in particular, the most powerful public employee, the most powerful union, period, in the state of California, which is the California Teachers Association, are all Marxists. They don't deny it any longer. They don't deny it. There's no need to deny it. There is no need. But see, in this state, the unions pay the Democrat Party. Well, they own the Democrat Party. They give them money to run their campaigns, and then the Democrats turn around and do whatever the unions want them to do. The plastic bag ban is a great example. Now, they did this plastic bag ban in California with the intent, they said, of getting plastic bags. Now, it never was a plastic bag ban, was it? We kept hearing for years how they're going to ban plastic bags. And so we started hoarding our plastic bags here in California from the grocery stores. We started saving them. Because someday they're gonna ban plastic bags. We're gonna have some plastic bags. What are we gonna use to what are we gonna pick up dog poop with? What are we gonna do to line our waste baskets in the bathroom? What are we gonna use? What are we gonna carry our food home in? That's one good thing about COVID, right? Isn't that one good thing about COVID? We got rid of the damn plastic bag ban that never was a ban in the first place. You do know what this was, don't you? The whole plastic bag. They said that they were going to ban plastic bags because of the environment. Because the whales in the ocean are choking on the plastic bags. We're throwing all of our plastic bags in the ocean. The poor whales, it's going in their, the plastic bags are going into their blowholes. And it's choking them and they're dying. And we've got to stop it. Even though, no, that's not true at all. There's not one goddamn, pardon me, excuse me, Lord. There's not one fucking plastic bag in the fucking ocean from the United States or from fucking California. It's all from the Philippines or Vietnam or somewhere like that. That's where they dump their fucking plastic bags in the ocean, and then we get blamed for it here in California. So they're going to take the plastic bags away from us, is what they were saying for years. And they start banning plastic bags, but they didn't ban plastic bags. What they did was they started charging you for plastic bags. Something you had gotten free before, which had been factored into the grocery stores and the cost of doing business. Okay? Well, when they first started talking about this legislation, excuse me, when they first started talking about the legislation, guess who was opposed to it? Because the money was going to go to, the original idea was the money was supposed to go where? Anybody? Where's the money going to go? Bob, where was the money going to go? Environmental groups. Exactly. Environmental groups. They were going to get the 10 cents per bag that we were going to be charged to use plastic bags at the grocery store. We were going to pay 10 cents, and that 10 cents was going to be collected by the state government, and it was going to go to the environmental groups for cleanups and shit like that. That was the original legislation as it was written. And then guess who's opposed to it? Obviously, the manufacturers of those cheap plastic bags that we've come to know and love, and the grocery workers' unions. The grocery workers union. They were opposed to the plastic bag, quote unquote, ban. You know why they were opposed to it? Because they weren't getting any money out of it. 10 cents is going to go to the environmentalists. Hey, plastic bag, you're going to buy them? 10 cents? We want our cut. We want our cut. So and they weren't going to get the support of the union. Therefore, they weren't going to get the support of, it wasn't going to get any support within the Assembly or the Senate in California. So the Democrats who had written the stupid bill go back and they change it. And they change it so that the unions get 5 cents and the environmentalists get 5 cents. And there you go. We got it. We got the plastic bag man. And, of course, we were told, you don't have to spend 10 cents on a plastic bag. You can reuse. You can buy these reusable bags and take them home. These cloth bags, they're really cool. And they've got a little picture of a tree. We've put a little tree on this cloth bag, and you can take this bag, and it's got a picture of a tree on it. And it's got a picture of a whale. Some of them, we have that. And you can take it home and carry it with you, take it with you to and from the store, and carry it around and feel good about yourself. That's all liberalism is, by the way, is feeling good about yourself. And what happened? We got COVID. Oh, guess what? Well, now, nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit about food, botulism and shit like that, which was being transmitted through these stupid reusable cloth bags. But as soon as the COVID came along, ooh. Because what happens? You go through and you go through the line and you hand your cloth bag, your reusable cloth bag to the bag boy there at the Vons or the Albertsons, and they stuff it in, stuff all your stuff inside there. Oh, you can't have that because you could have had the COVID on your hands, man. So stupid. So we no longer have that. We no longer, they still ask you if you want a bag, but they're not charging you. They're not supposed to. If you're a grocery store, if you're in California and they're charging you 10 cents a bag, they're not supposed to be doing that shit. Okay? Just so you know. So anyway, getting back to the whole union thing, I mean, that's how much, but that story right there is the reason why I told you that, is so that you understand, you comprehend that how the unions, how much power they have. They run the state of California. They control, I mean, we elect these people, okay, but all they are we elect the representatives in Sacramento of the unions. That's what our job is as voters. We vote for the representatives that go to Sacramento to represent the unions. Some people I get a kick out of these folks, man. They are a hoot. Aren't they funny? All the people that think that they're voting, that their vote counts. They're voting for their representatives to represent them. Our representatives in California represent we the people. All these idiots over on the fucking coast, right? Oh, we will. Oh, well, I elected so-and-so to go to the assembly in Sacramento to represent me and all of my concerns. Bullshit. They're there to represent the unions. And the thing is, this is the deal. You want to know the two big battles that go on in California politics? The two big battles, two groups that battle with each other all the time. Environmentalists and unions. They're going back and forth. And the politicians just sitting there just raking in the dough, man. Just like, hey, come on, just bring me the money. Bring me the money. So the teachers' unions are telling us, we don't want the teachers to go back to work in the fall. We don't want the teachers to get infected by the little. Oh, here's the other one. By the way, here it is. Let me. I'm gonna. You know the words. You remember the Ronald Reagan thing. Ronald Reagan said, what was it? The 9 words, the 9 most scary words in the English language. I'm here from the government and I'm here to help you, or I'm here to help, or something like that. Remember that from Reagan? The most frightening words, the most horrifying words you could ever hear from the government is, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. I mean, that's true. But the most horrifying thought of all is the idea of these idiots that vote. The most horrifying thought that I can imagine are these people that vote, these sheeple, I should say, the same ones that are bitching at you about wearing a mask, on social media and everything. These people actually think that the politicians are there to represent them and their interests. I don't know, what are those of you watching the show on Facebook or on YouTube, you really need to come to twitch.tv/the JAZ McKAY Show. Sign up for Twitch. so you can join in the conversation, because I'm watching the chat room, the stream chat here on Twitch, and one of my viewers here says, "What's the world's 3 greatest lies?" Go ahead, tell us, what are the world's 3 greatest lies? And by the way, I disagree with I disagree with you. Who was that? I just said Giggle in the chat room says only unions worth a damn are the vocational trade unions. All other unions are political criminal fronts. I don't think there's I mildly disagree with you there. There is no need for any form of labor union or trade unions in this country. None. Zero. There was at the turn of the 20th, at the turn of the century, in the early part of the 20th century, there was a need for unions, of course, in order to protect the workers and mainly for worker safety. We don't have that anymore. We have an agency. It's called OSHA. And that's what their job is. We have government agencies now that look out for it. There's not a damn reason in the world, especially the worst unions are the public employee unions. I have no use for anybody, for any union. I don't care. I lived in Michigan, and I know I pissed off a lot of the auto workers. And I said the UAW is a criminal outfit, and I still feel the same way. They're all criminal fronts, in my opinion. But the worst of the worst are the public employee unions. They have no right to exist. No right to exist. And I'll explain that in just a moment. Here we have the world's, for those of you not watching on Twitch, the world's 3 greatest lies. Number 1, I'll pay you tomorrow. Yeah, remember that? That was from Popeye, right? That was Wimpy. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Number 2, the check is in the mail. And number 3, I promise I won't come in your mouth. And he LOL'd that one. That was not worth the wait. I don't mind telling you. I will. The check is. How about this one? Number 2, the check is in your mouth. No, labor unions. There is no purpose for public employee labor unions. In fact, I say it's a criminal, more than just being a criminal front for laundering money and shit like that. Okay, the public employee unions, think about this. They're the ones who make the contributions to the politicians so that the politicians do what the labor unions, the public employee unions want. And who hires the workers who are represented by the public employee unions? The government, which is run by the politicians. Do you not see a little problem with that? Here's my thought on teachers refusing to go back to work. And this is, I'm directing this right to the unions and the the teachers themselves. The teachers themselves. Get off your ass and get back to work, or you don't get a paycheck. There's only one profession in this country, folks, you name me another profession, is paid to not do their job that they were hired to do. Not do their job that they were hired to do. And that is teachers. That's teachers. God's honest truth. If a teacher is tenured in because of union contracts, if a teacher is tenured in, they cannot be fired, even if they've been accused of touching kids. Okay, let's say you got a teacher, and let's say, now this is going to get gross, okay? I'm going to get gross for a moment. Let's say that a teacher has been accused. No, I can't even go there. I was going to actually cite you a true story of the Los Angeles school district and a teacher there who he didn't touch the kids, but what he did to the kids was unthinkable and disgusting. Do you remember the guy with the spoon? Anybody? Does anybody remember the guy with the spoon and a certain substance that he placed in the spoon and then blindfolded the children and had them come up and taste what was in the spoon? And it was a certain substance, a certain bodily fluid. While this guy was being investigated, and there was photographic evidence, and you had kids telling the story of what they did, what he did to them. But before they actually took this guy to court and charged him with, I don't know, lewd and lascivious with a child. Yeah, okay, Daylily 52 knows what I'm talking about. I'm glad you do, because I didn't want to have to go and explain it, because it's one of the most disgusting things I've heard in my life. But what this guy did with these little kids, and there were, yeah, you know what I'm talking. You guys remember this story? This was a huge story 10 years ago. And we don't know I don't know. I never heard any resolution. I'm sure the guy went to jail. But before he went to jail, because of the union contract, because of his union's contract with the LA Unified School District, he could not be fired. The only thing they could do is pay him to come to work every day, to come to the school, and to sit in what is called a rubber room. You know what a rubber room is? It's not a place where you try on condoms. They call them rubber rooms. They're rooms in the schools with desks and chairs and tables or whatever. And the teachers who have been accused of child molesting, who haven't been adjudicated in the courts so they can send their asses to fucking prison, or hopefully they get gang raped and beat the shit out of every fucking day for however long they're in. They're never in long enough, frankly. You touch a kid, anybody, I don't give a damn, teacher what, but teachers be worse. You touch a kid under the age, let's say 12 and under, death penalty. Death penalty for child molesters. Now, you want to make sure that it's, proven beyond a shadow of doubt. And execute them. And fuck this three appeals, fuck the appeals process. 3, you get 1 appeal. If I was king, guys should elect me king, all right? If I was king, state of California would be executing child molesters. Anybody touches a kid 12 years of age or under, death penalty right away. You touch a kid, I'm not going to go the 17-year-old route thing, okay? Because you got 18, 19-year-old guys who are dating 17-year-old girls, and that is way different than a 40-year-old man molesting a 17-year-old girl. So there's a big difference. But anyway, 12 and under, beep, 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 I don't care. Electrocute them, I don't give a damn. Gas chamber, whatever. But we'll chop their weenies off first, all right? Castrate them first with a very rusty knife, okay? And then death penalty. Just put them to death. Put them to death, okay? There's no curing them. No, there's not. So you know what I'm talking about. So what happens with these teachers? And this one in particular was doing this disgusting stuff with these kids and a spoon with some bodily fluids in it. He goes and sits in a room and plays crossword puzzles for 2 years, getting paid. It's the only job. Teachers, the only job. You can commit the most heinous crime, and you still get paid. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the union contracts include paying these guys even after they get convicted and go to prison, that they're still drawing a paycheck, goes into their commissary accounts at Folsom or some shit. But I am sick of this crap about hearing this talk about how teachers are refusing to go back to work. The teachers are not going to go back to work because of COVID. Well, fine, then you don't fucking get paid. I had a decent little job working radio, doing this nice little kind of cushy little, $3,000 a month, barely enough to get by. Gig that I was doing at KERN, I lost that gig because of the COVID. And guess what? KERN, which is owned by American General Media, stopped paying me money. They stopped paying me, yeah, because they lost. See, here's what happened. The radio station, and this happened in all the radio stations. There's a ton of radio guys out of work. And so they get a lot of the sales contracts. A lot of the advertisers cancel their contracts. Why? Because they had to close their businesses. There was nothing to advertise anymore. So the revenue stream was cut off. And guess what? You got to get rid of some of this dead weight around the radio station. They fired me, and I didn't get paid. How many of you listening to me now are sitting at home or whatever, wherever you're sitting, okay? Maybe you're sitting at Bass Lake. Maybe you're sitting at Bass Lake with some crazy woman screaming at you with measuring tape. And you're sitting there, and you're minding your own business. You're doing your job, and boom, your boss comes and says, "Hey, listen, we got to talk to you here, and here's your check. Here's your final check, and thanks for being with us, and good luck because of the COVID. Oh, we got to close the plant. We got to close we're not essential. All right, you're not essential. I'm not essential. None of us are essential. Everybody gets fired, or the whole company closes down. Right? Does your company still pay you? You still get your salary to sit at home and wait for COVID to be over with, which happens November. It'll be November 4th, I think, right? Is it November? Yeah, the day after Election Day. So if you can't get paid, what a cushy job these teachers get, right? They get to decide whether or not they're going to go back to work. No, we don't want to go back to work. There is no evidence that these kids are going to get sick. And that's another thing. Be very, very leery anytime you hear a politician say, "Think of the children." Anytime you ever hear the words, "Think of the children." Those four little words. Think of the children. Hide your wallet, okay? Run for the hills. No, I don't get paid. I don't get paid to sit at home. Teachers, yeah, they don't want to go back to work. No, come September, August, whenever school is supposed to start, don't you start that school. Don't you send those kids back to school. The kids aren't learning it. Oh, no, we'll, what are they calling it? Distance learning or some shit like that. They're not signing on. Now, a lot of that's because the parents aren't watching them. But a lot of the parents are the ones that are still working, trying to make a living. I understand that. Take this as an opportunity to take your kids out of school forever. If you can, homeschool your kids. Take that opportunity. By the way, why is Black Lives Matter so opposed to charter schools and school voucher programs? I thought Black Lives Matter cared about the lives of black children. I thought Black Lives Matter cared about black lives, in particular children. Why are they opposed? I don't know. I can't imagine. Because school choice, you would think, would be a good thing. I mean, Democrats have always talked about choice being a good thing, right? Oh, we're all pro-choice. We're all for choice. You should make your own choice. Except when it comes to educating your children. That's when we know better. That's when we'll watch. We'll take care of your kids. No school choice for you. Oh, there's school choice for rich white people. You talk about. They keep talking about white privilege, okay? They yammering away about white privilege, all that white privilege out there. Fuck that white privilege shit. Wait a minute. No, hold the phone, folks. There is a white privilege thing. Actually, it's not white privilege. It's cultural privilege. It is based on income levels, okay? It's about rich folks, all right? It's about these rich folks. After all, the rich people, they got their own privilege. They can send their kids to a private school. They can hire tutors. They can afford to hire somebody to come into the house 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, and educate their children. But you're a working class dude. You can't do that. Most of your black families sure as hell can't afford that shit. So we have a system. It's out there. It can be used. What's called a school voucher system. They give you a voucher, right? Here's your voucher. Here, take your voucher. And you take your voucher. It's kind of like when you, if you go down to whatchamacallit there, the animal shelter, all right? You got your damn dog, and the dog's going to be humping your leg all the fucking time. And so you got to get the dog fixed. Well, you can't really afford to fix a dog. You're kind of on a limited income, maybe only pulling down about $35,000, $40,000 a year, which ain't very much in California. I remember when $40,000 a year used to be a lot of money. Not anymore. So you're pulling down $30,000, $40,000 a year. You ain't got the money. Just, you got 4 kids. You're trying to take care. You got the dog, and the dog's humping your leg. Got to do something about the dog humping your leg. The dog's going nuts, and the dog needs to be fixed. And he's already banged up the Chihuahua down the street. You got to get the dog fixed. You just got to. And so you go down to the animal shelter, and they give you a voucher, and you take it to the veterinarians. And it's $20 off or $50 off, whatever the voucher's good for. Same thing with schools, all right? Same thing with charter schools, private schools, okay? Same thing with private schools. So you got a religious academy, something like our sister, something like that, and they give you, and it costs money to send your kid to the school. So you take the voucher, and you take it down there and put your kid in a good school so your kid get a good education. Black Lives Matter, very opposed to that. Why are the liberals, Democrats, socialists, communists opposed to school choice? Why would they be? Because they got to keep the masses as dumb as possible and keep your kids in the indoctrination centers we call public schools. That's all there is to it. This ain't about kids. In fact, the teachers' unions have admitted that. They've admitted it. I remember this a couple of years back, man. Some videotape surfaced of a big convention with all these teachers' union groups, all these different unions from all over the country going into Washington, D.C., converging there. And they all get together and say, hey, you know what? And they get the guy up there and he's speaking. And says, let's be honest. We're here. We're not here for the kids. They've admitted it. They're not here for the kids. They're not here to take care of. They don't give a shit about educating your kids. This is about, first of all, indoctrination. Number one, they set the curriculum. Even here in Kern County. First day of school, okay? The week before, you go to the store and take the kid, right? You take kid to school, it's getting ready to go to school. You take kid to the store. I remember this as a boy. Now, see, follow along with me here, see if this reminds you. Your mom takes you to the store, and you go, and I was a kid, it was Woolworths, okay? A little discount store. I don't have them anymore, I don't believe. You go to the Woolworths store, and you go to the school section, and you're all excited, and mom is picking out, okay, I need this book bag, or I need this pencil box, and I need these pencils. And your mom's got a list, right? She gets a list. It looks a lot like a school voucher. It looks a lot like a voucher. Mom gets the list. The school sent them out to you. She got the list of all the items that you're going to need. Pen, paper, the Big Chief, okay, which, boy, I bet you, did they still make Big Chief? Do they still make Big Chief, Bob? I don't think so. I don't think they do either. Got the picture of the Indian chief on the front of the Big Chief tablet. Remember the Big Chief tablet? Look that up, Bob. See if they still make Big Chiefs. I don't think they do. Okay. So you got your Big Chief tablet. You got your big old fat number 2 pencils. You know, remember those things are about like that big around the shit. And the notebook. You have to have a notebook. Well, when I was a kid, it was a notebook, and they've got all kinds of peachy folders. Remember peachy folders? You had to get all that stuff. Nowadays, still same thing. You get the list. It looks a lot like a voucher. You get the list here from the school, and you go take the kid to the store, and you buy all the stuff. And now, when I was a kid, I'd get home, I'd take all that stuff, and I'd put it in my bedroom, and I would open up all the pencils out of the little packaging, and take the pens out of the packaging, and I'd put them inside the pencil bag, which went inside my notebook, and I would arrange everything. On the first day of school, I'm so proud. I got all my new stuff. I got my Dukes of Hazzard notebook, that kind of thing. All proud. Got your lunchbox and all that, right? Got my man from Uncle lunchbox. Anyway, so you go to the school. Nowadays, it's a little bit different. Okay, same thing happens. Mom takes a kid, with the list that comes from the school. Go to the store, buys all the school supplies. And then the kid probably should have turned off the phone. I'm getting a call from New Hampshire. Do. Yes, hello. Hello. Who's there? Oh, they hung up. Turn the ringer off. I normally do, but I forgot. So anyway, you go to school. You got your school supplies. This is what happens today. Kid goes to school, got school supplies, got all the pencils, got all the paper, got the big. Probably don't have a big chief anymore. I imagine. Probably don't have a big chief folder anymore. Anyway, so your kid goes to school, got the protractor, got the all the school you got the compass, you got all that stuff, right? What happens is the teacher comes by with a box. Teacher comes by with a box, and the teacher takes all of your kid's school supplies and puts them in a box and puts them up on her desk. Then she announces to the class that any time you need some school supplies, you will come to her and she will give you a pencil. You like the ringtone, do you? Yeah. When your kid needs a school supply, needs a pencil, all kids come up and get a pencil. Because now the teacher announces that all the school supplies that she just collected from the kids are for the whole class. They're for the whole community. There is no personal property in the classroom, she tells the kids. All your property is now our property. You know that? That's what they do nowadays. I found that out about 15, 20 years ago. God's honest truth, man. That's what the teachers do. It's for the underprivileged children. The less fortunate children. It's for the less fortunate children so that they will have the school supplies that they need. That means you as a mama or you as a daddy have to supply the school supplies for the kids that can't afford them. And that is communism. From those with the means to those without the means. Or something like that. Some Karl Marx quote. So anyway, listen, what's coming up here, folks, in just a few weeks. I see, what day is today? The 4th. Okay. We're at the end of July. Oh, by the way, today, Tehachapi, 3 o'clock. If you're in Tehachapi, 3 o'clock. Big time support rally for President Donald Trump. That's happening today. I'll get all the details in a moment, but that's at 3 o'clock from 3 to 6, I believe. 3 to 6 this afternoon, and I'll get you the details on that momentarily. But here we are, the 24th. Today is the 24th. We are just about to enter what is called, now this may mean that I could get back on the radio. I'll explain. We are coming into what is called the political season. The political season is about to begin. The political season in media is a very, very happy time. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't need that. The political season, I'm glad I checked it, though. Hang on. I didn't know that was going to go over the air. It's not supposed to. The political season, hang on, I want to get something for you here. I got something to show you here in just a minute. There it is right there. Okay, that's good. I got that. The political season is coming up. That means for radio and television, newspapers too, it's a big deal. It is a big deal, folks, because that's when all the political ads start. The political ads, your favorite time of the year too, I'm sure. I hate it because, look, I look at radio, even though I made my living on advertising for 45 years, I look at radio the way you look at radio. I look at television the same way y'all do. I watch TV just like you do. I listen to the radio just like you do. And I have phone calls just like that one was probably a political call coming in. I hate it. I hate it with a passion, but it's coming. It's coming. Now, what happens first is you get the initiatives, the advertising for the initiative, the propositions, okay? All the propositions coming up. That is what is scheduled to start next month in August. That's what starts in August. Proposition E. If you really care about the children, you'll vote yes on Proposition E. Proposition E is going to raise your taxes. Vote no on Proposition E. You're going to see these things, and it's going to come at you. But I don't have to tell you that because you know about it. The worst, though, are the ad campaigns for the politicians. Those, oh my God. And they just come at you. And it's nonstop. It is nonstop ads, political ads. And yeah, when I was working in the radio and the television business, that was like Christmas, okay? That was like Christmas. Every 2 years or every 4 years. Every 4 years was big because that's your presidential election. But even every 2 years when you got your off-season elections, your what they call congressional elections and shit like that. Oh, man, the money that these politicians spend, it's just unbelievable sums of money. So all the radio and the TV guys, I mean, they literally can pay for, they could hire my ass back and put me back on the radio, but that's never going to happen. I think KERN finally learned. I think radio, I'm done. Radio, stick a fork in radio. Not me. I'd gladly go back, but radio don't want my ass on anymore. I'll tell you that right now. But coming up, folks, in just a matter of weeks, the political ads will start. It'll start, like I said, with the Proposition R, Proposition 27, Proposition this, Proposition that, Proposition the girl on the street and get busted and have to go before the public and explain why you as an assembly person are picking up hookers or whatever the proposition might be. Okay, so here's the deal. I want you to start paying attention to the ads. Pay very close attention. You don't have any idea how often, every 2 years, I get the questions about, well, who are you voting for? Well, I shouldn't have to answer those questions. I shouldn't, as a person who's engaged, have to answer those. You need to do your own damn homework. And I want you to pay very close attention to the political ads. Don't just tune them out. Pay very close attention to what they're telling you, what the politicians are telling you, what the unelected deep state bureaucrats are telling you in the ad camp, what the advertising agencies are telling you, because those are the guys that are really in charge of this season coming up, the political season. It starts in late August and runs full bore into November. Okay, really starts to kick in about second week of September. But it starts in August, and we're going to get them. All the political ads, buddy, they are coming. And I know you can't wait, right? Especially those phone calls, those robocalls that come in. Hello, I'm Congressman Dickhead, and I want you to vote for me, Congressman Dickhead. All the political ads are coming. Get ready for it. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Prepare for the political ads, folks. We'll be back after this. More of the Jazz McKay Show at twitch.tv, Facebook Live, and on YouTube. I'm Jazz. We'll be right back. Stick around, folks.
The Jazz McKay Show is on.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright, and the people who bankroll my political career tell me I'm running for president. So here I am.
Real, hardworking Americans are important to me, is a tagline I will be using throughout this entire campaign.
I may not be qualified to be president, but a dramatic camera angle can make me look like a president. A president with the conviction to nod, the courage to point, and the experience to cram buzzwords into everything I jobs. Ideas, policies, morals. These are things I don't need. What I need is $2 billion. Here's the part where I gloss over important issues. Issues like education and making it good, the economy, and improving it by repeating the word jobs. And blah, 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 something to get votes from women and minorities. I have a 5-step plan for making America better. Appeal to special interest billionaires and lobbyists behind closed doors, raise $2 billion, promise you earnestly that it'll be different this time, get elected, break all my promises to you, and work tirelessly for the big donors who want my presidency. Anytime I can pull a favor for special interest, it always gives me a huge donor. And at this point in my political career, anytime I can get a donor to last longer than 4 years, well, every 4 years, Americans are faced with a critical choice. Clinton, or Bush, or someone else. Well, I'm Gil Fulbright, and with a big enough donor, I can be that someone else. I'm Honest Gil Fulbright, and I approve of whatever my marketing team has put into this message. Oh, the Chesapeake Bay. Huh, yeah, that'd be a great landfill. Why, you're still here? You must want a political favor. Well, no can do without a donation. Click here to chip in. Go ahead, pause the video and do it. And don't forget to subscribe here to see more of me. What's that? Radioactive? So?
I'm Dale Peterson, and I'm after the Republican nomination for Agricultural Commissioner of Alabama. I've been a farmer, a cop, a volunteer. I sat people in a movie theater one summer. One time I gave a guy a hand job for $20 and a pack of cigarettes. So listen up. The Agricultural Commission of Alabama is one of the most important positions starting under the letter A, because I got too bored to read the rest of the availabilities. It controls $5 billion. Bet you didn't know that. Well, it's true, but it ain't, because I made it up. No, I didn't. Who said that? Probably my political opponents, and they don't give a rip about Alabama, not like Franklin and me. Here we are losing 3 family farms a day. The Jack in the Box that I go to just closed down. Jeans cost $80. I don't want Sonic, I want a Jack in the Box. My opponent's on Facebook bragging about his score on Farm Bill. What kind of dummy would vote for him? I don't know, Franklin. But it wasn't Franklin talking, it was me. We're Republicans. We're better than that. I'll name names and I won't stop fighting. I'll kill a man. I'll put a gun right in someone's mouth and say, you need more lead in your diet right before I pull the trigger. So give me the Republican nomination for Ag Commissioner or I'll shoot you in the goddamn head. Let's show Alabama we mean business. Come on, Franklin. Franklin, we mean business. Come on, get it. Franklin, business.
Hi. I'm a spokesperson for the Democratic Party, and I'm here to tell you why you need to vote blue this November. Democrats are the party of love and tolerance. We promote inclusion and acceptance, peace, and goodwill. Republicans don't care about any of these things. They just want to talk about record unemployment, the economy, and keeping communities safe. Fascists. Democrats have positive, practical priorities, like abolishing the Electoral College, eliminating due process, and banning hate speech. These are the values of the American people. Well, at least Americans that live in San Francisco and New York. Republicans often use fear-mongering rhetoric like Constitution or liberty. Democrats condemn such language as divisive and instead focus on more unifying topics like repealing the Second Amendment or kneeling for the national anthem. Democrats are the party of equality, so much so that we insist upon unconditionally believing women and disbelieving men because, well, feminism. If you ask us to explain this logically, we will scream in your face and call you a misogynist. Republicans want to take away a woman's sacred right to choose to have her child decapitated inside the womb and torn apart limb by limb with forceps. Democrats celebrate the right to violently murder your child because we're compassionate. Democrats believe that women are powerful and independent. They are also helpless victims of the patriarchy who require government intervention to succeed. Any woman who disagrees with us on this is a self-hating, stupid bimbo. And you know, it's time someone was finally brave enough to say this. Republicans are racist. Democrats have the same positive message for minorities that we have for women. You're a victim, and you're useful to us. If you disagree, we'll insult your intelligence. But it's for your own good. Republicans want to stop certain people from coming into this country. They cite the infiltration of gang violence or opioids or sex trafficking as reasons to stop illegal immigration. But Democrats accept these as the natural consequences of opening up the borders, which, of course, is the more loving thing to do. Democrats recognize that the key to a better tomorrow is to look forward, not backward. That's why we reject capitalism and all of its greed and instead opt for socialism, which has worked so well every time it's been tried. Democrats are the party of the common people, the poor and the marginalized, the weak and defenseless. While Republicans promise freedom, we promise free stuff. That's how we win over young people. Our goal is to make the government work for you so you don't have to work at all. Republicans are always pushing religion in our faces. We reject their bigotry. Religious people are idiots. Democrats would much rather you sacrifice yourself on the altar of progressivism. The truth is, as the party of empathy, we're just better than everyone else. That's why we spend so much time telling people who don't align with our agenda that they're not just wrong, but that they're bad people. We still haven't figured out that this condescension is what lost us the 2016 election. Nevertheless, we're confident that through censorship, emotional manipulation, and continued bullying that we'll eventually get our way. Why? Because we care about you. So much so that we're willing to wear you down until you fear getting silenced, doxxed, or fired because you don't agree with our agenda. That's love. I'm the spokesperson for the Democratic Party. Vote for us in November.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright, and I approve of whatever it is my wife is about to read off of this teleprompter.
Hi, I'm a politician's wife delivering a focus group message from what looks like the cover of Architectural Digest. I'm not behind a podium or out speaking with real people because as a prop, I'm best positioned in the home where I can conform to gender norms and exhibit aspirational family values. My practice smile should tell you all's well with the Fulbright house, while my lifeless eyes betray my disgust with my husband's backroom dealings with shady political cohorts. People ask me all the time, what's it like to be a politician's wife? Well, it's a privilege to be a part of the soul-eating circus known as the political machine. That is, once you've given up your dreams of doing something meaningful or worthwhile. So, probably what it feels like to be a voter. Go here to hear more from my husband, or go here if you'd like to donate to his Indiegogo page.
Crushed it! Fucking crushed the tier, dude. Did you see that? Oh my god.
Mr. Fulbright, great to meet you. Thank you for coming to meet with me today.
It's my pleasure. I did not wash my hand.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election.
I have no strict party affiliation. On positions, I'm completely flexible. I like to say I'm the Kama Sutra of political positions. I have been in politics for a long time, and I started out as a regular politician. I heard the term public service. That sounded so good to me, public service. I said, yeah, I can do that. I can help people and get paid for it. And that's what I started out doing, and that's why you don't remember my campaign.
What do you think is the most pressing issue facing Kentucky and its residents today?
Well, the environment, there's education, there's energy production, a lot of talk about coal down there. And of course, they are the 6 poorest counties in all of America. And when I learned all of that, I said, I'm not going to deal with it, not my problem.
What do you think of recent polls showing Americans are overwhelmingly in favor of campaign finance reform?
I understand that. You know, if I were an ordinary American and didn't have money and didn't feel like my voice was being heard, I would feel that way. But America is the land of opportunity. So my suggestion is, why don't you just go out and become wealthy and your voice will be heard? It's that simple, people.
What will you do if you lose this election?
Well, right away I'll start fundraising for the next one.
And what will you do if you win?
Well, I'll start fundraising for the next one. I cannot stress enough how much this race has so little to do with the people of Kentucky. And I'm proud.
But what will you do specifically for the people of Kentucky?
Pass. Scottsdale Bullion and Coin, one of our donors, because reputation is everything.
There's a lot of talk about the race in 2020. Sure, there's a lot of candidates in the running. But can any of them actually run? I mean, really run? I'm the last American movie star. No one runs like I do. And nobody opens a box office like me. And with your help in 2020, together, we'll dominate the ballot box. This is no stunt. But if it were, I do all those for real. Why vote for me? I'm not just your everyman. I've literally been every man. I've been a Navy pilot, a lawyer, and a Navy lawyer. My opponents will say I was a pimp in high school. It's true. But I grew up fast in NASCAR country and started a small business as a sports agent to set a better example. I know foreign diplomacy because I fought alongside the samurai. And I'm proud to serve our country, defending our planet against aliens twice! No, 3 times. I know this country top to bottom, inside out. From here to here. Because I've lived its history. Literally, I did. It's a vampire. I feel the need to lead. As your commander-in-chief, no mission is impossible. So help me help you to elect me in 2020. I'm just a patriot. My birthday? The 4th of July. I'm Tom Cruise and I'm running for President of the United States. America, you complete me. Show me 2020!
God bless America. You're listening to the uncommon voice of the common man.
The Jazz Man, JAZ McKAY.
Political ads. Can't wait. Welcome back, JAZ McKAY program. This is Twitch.tv. That's where we do it from. And we share it out there on the YouTubes. You'll also find us on Facebook, the JAZ McKAY Show on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. And you'll also find us, of course, on Facebook, JAZ McKAY, JAZMCKAY. All of those were political ad parodies. If you do a search, they're all available, not on one channel. It'd be great if they were, but they're all they're spread out on a lot of different channels. I had someone ask me, I said, what channels are they available on? Just go to YouTube and do a search for political ad parodies or political commercial parodies. The Gil Fulbright stuff is the best, and I've got more coming up in just a little while, so you want to stick with us. First of all, I wanted to go back to something that happened yesterday on this program, something we talked about. This occurred in Bass Lake, okay? Over this past weekend, a woman named Marcella, I believe Maria Marcella, and her family, her sister and some other folks in her group went to Bass Lake just to cool off with all the heat and everything. And so they go to Bass Lake, and apparently they made camp somewhere near the shoreline. And a woman there, for some reason, she didn't know Marcella. She didn't know the Marcella family. But for some reason, this woman was convinced that the Marcella family were all infected with COVID. She had no reason that I know of or that anyone else knows, to suspect that the Marcella family were COVID positive. But somehow she thought they were. And so she was angry that they were at the lake. And she told them that they had to leave. Now, this isn't some kind of a park ranger situation. This is just a woman who was there at the lake, and she was worried that they had COVID, and she told them to leave. And they said no. You don't tell Karen no. No, you do what Karen tells you to do, or Karen goes absolutely apeshit.
too. Then stay home. We do too. I protected my family. Get out of here. We do too. We do too. Okay, I'm recording you.
Wait, is that a tape measure in that woman's hand? Oh, yeah. Looks like a tape measure.
Record her. I am recording her. Goodness sakes. Get out of here! It's people like you that are ruining it for all of us!
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha.
Yeah. Yeah, later the woman's brother apologized. Said she was having a bad day, and that is the understatement of the year, I think. Oh, my God. That is also available, that video, if you're so inclined to share that on your Facebook page or your Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. I have made that video that you just saw on my YouTube channel. Once again, my YouTube channel. I really would appreciate if you guys would visit my YouTube channel. It's called The JAZ McKAY Show. It's The JAZ McKAY Show YouTube channel. Go check it out and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. It's 100% free. How much free shit do you get these days? Not very much, folks. Not very much. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and then watch as many videos as possible. All right, and share as many videos as possible with all your Facebook friends, all your Twitter, Twitter followers, right? Twitter is followers, right? And get it out there. Get it out there. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. So last night, Major League Baseball, unbelievable. You know, speaking of Facebook, I was on Facebook like I am every day, every night. And I'm looking at the Facebook, and the people are saying, hey, what's going on with, the Yankees? What's going on with the Yankees? Are they kneeling? Are they kneeling? And somebody said, no, they're not kneeling. And I said, really? They're not? Well, I don't, like I said, don't watch the baseball. So I didn't know. So I had to go to, social media to find out. And come to find out, yeah, looks like they were. Found this on Twitter. Every player and coach, Yankees were in Washington, D.C. to play the Nationals. And they all took a knee. Look at it. Every single solitary one of them. There were some questions about who was going to take a knee on the Yankees, if there was going to be anyone taking a knee. Who would take a knee? Who wouldn't? Well, there's the answer for you. All of them, including the Washington Nationals. Every single one of them. Down on their knees. Down on their knees to Black Lives Matter. Good thing Aubrey Huff has retired. I don't think that the Major League Baseball executives could get him to take a knee to the Marxist, radical, black supremacist terrorist organization Black Lives Matter. But it doesn't end there. Lest anybody forget that adherence to Black Lives Matter faith, and as I covered at the beginning of the show, it is a faith. It is their religion. The religion of the left is Black Lives Matter. Reverence must be paid. Reverence must be offered. Reverence, you must allow them. You're seeing it in Portland. What is it? 57,000 nights in a row They have rioted. The entire city of Portland has been burned to the ground. There's not one building left standing. And the mayor, Ted Wheeler, gets booed. I'm sorry, but that was funny. I got to admit, there's humor in all of this. Although it's hard to find, and sometimes you don't want to laugh. But you have to. He goes out there, Ted Wheeler does, and thank God President Trump has sent in federal police agents to try and return things to normalcy. But he goes out there to join the mayor. Let me ask you a question. If the mayor of your town, if there was an arsonist, I don't care where you live, but let's say there was an arsonist on the loose in your town, in your city, wherever you live, and this arsonist is going around 58, 57, however many nights in a row, and setting fires to buildings, and setting fires to cars, and assaulting innocent people who happen to be just walking along, taking baseball bats and crowbars and bricks and beating them and attacking police officers. Let's say there's a criminal out there who is doing all this shit, one guy, and your mayor holds him up as some sort of a hero and says, "Isn't this guy great? He's out there setting fires and burning down buildings, and he's attacking people on the street. Isn't he great?" How would you feel about that? What would your response be as a citizen of that city? Because that's exactly what's happening in Portland, in Seattle, in Chicago. That's exactly what's happening. All those cities, but especially in Portland, where Ted Wheeler goes out to praise, to show, he takes a camera crew with him to show how peaceful all the protests are. And he stands there and watches them set fire to a federal courthouse. And he says, "I don't see anything wrong with that." And then he wants to speak to the protest. God, we have to say protesters? So he wants to speak to the protesters, and he starts to talk, and they start cursing at him and cussing him out and embarrassing the hell out of him. Because I don't care how much you appease these people. They're coming for you too. Are you really, Ted Wheeler, that dumb? Yeah, I guess you are. And the same with the Hollywood celebrities who are all paying homage to Black Lives Matter, the terrorist, Marxist, black supremacist organization. And so is Major League Baseball and all the baseball teams. Black Lives Matter was stenciled on the pitcher's mound last night. Players on the Nationals and the Yankees wore patches on their sleeves? Really? Reading the patches, this actually was not just, it wasn't just that, it was all of Major League Baseball. They're wearing patches on their sleeves that say Black Lives Matter or United for Change. Either one of those is apparently acceptable. And United for Change, that is the BLM doctrine that America, United for Change, that means you're endorsing the message that, yes, America is a vile, horrible, racist place and therefore must be changed into a different place, must be changed into a different sort of a country. And that change, United for Change, means the change to a communist nation. The Red Sox who has this, they've got this psycho, what's his name? Alex Cora, I think his name's Alex Cora. Does that sound right, guys? Bob, is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Alex Cora? Let me look it up. He's going to look it up. Alex Cora, right?
Alex Cora.
Okay. Alex Cora is the manager, and this guy is some kind of a raging brain-dead liberal. This is a guy all I know about him is that he refused to visit the White House for political reasons after the team won their 2018 World Series. And he's a part of it. All of these teams ramming this religion of Black Lives Matter down your throats if you're a baseball fan. They're ramming it right down your fucking throat. Listen to this. The Boston Red Sox unveiled a massive Black Lives Matter billboard Wednesday. The 250-foot billboard. Let me see. Do I have that? I think we do. There it is. There it is. What do you think, folks? Don't you love it? Don't you love it? The Boston Red Sox unveiled that you're looking at. A massive Black Lives Matter billboard Wednesday. The 250-foot billboard is adjacent to Fenway Park and faces the Massachusetts Turnpike. The huge sign featuring the words Black Lives Matter in the front of the Red Sox, in the font of the Red Sox, on a black background with the team's logo. You see it right there on the end. You know what? I like I said, I used to believe that baseball, it's called America's sport. It's our national pastime, right? Baseball used to appeal to patriotic Americans. With patriotic Americans with a love for history and tradition. Not anymore. Not anymore. No, sirree. No, it's been co-opted by radical leftism, cultural Marxism. But you won't escape it by walking away from the game. Not if you live in Boston. Not if you travel the Boston Turnpike. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, got some other baseball news. Mookie Betts has signed a contract extension for $365 million. $365 million to play a game. $365 million. To play baseball. Yet when the Dodgers took the field yesterday, Mookie Betts, who just signed a contract extension. Did I mention that, Bob?
No.
I didn't mention that?
No, how much?
$365
million.
That's right. 365. Did I mention that Mookie Betts just signed a contract extension worth $365 million? Just shy of $250 million. To play a game. Yet when the Dodgers took the field yesterday to play the Washington Nationals, Mookie Betts knelt. He knelt. Not only for the Black Lives Matter ceremony before playing the national anthem itself, to drive home the message. He took a knee to drive home the message that America should be torn down, that our country should be torn down because he's oppressed. Mookie Betts, $365. Did I mention he signed a new contract extension for $365 million? But he's being oppressed. So he has to take a knee to voice his displeasure with this deep-rooted, deep-seated systemic racism that keeps him down. So what do you think? Any baseball fans listening to me here on the worldwide interwebs? Any baseball fans that are going to stick with baseball? Sure. You love it, don't you? You love the game? I wish I could tell you that I'm done with baseball, but not being a follower of the teams. And good luck, by the way, and good luck to Major League Baseball. Best of luck to you, MLB. Best of luck to the American and National League. Best of luck in trying to find any millennials with an attention span long enough to last 9 innings. Because you've given in. Baseball, NFL, they gave in. They gave in years ago. NASCAR, they've given in. All the sports, all the major sports, they've given in. Goodbye, see you later, take care. I hope that you guys in NASCAR, I hope that I wish you the best of luck, NASCAR, in finding some millennial women, because that's who they've said. NASCAR has said they're going after millennial women. This is why they're supporting Black Lives Matter. This is why NASCAR is in full support. They're trying to change their sport. NASCAR, Major League Baseball, the NFL, NBA. NBA's been a lost cause for a long time. But they're all trying to change. They all want to achieve, especially NASCAR. NASCAR is the most interesting because they really, NASCAR as an organization, hates their fan base with a passion, with a white-hot seething passion. And by God, they're going to change their fan base. And NASCAR has decided that they want millennial-aged women to not feel threatened, by all the big, bad race car drivers. So they're supporting Black Lives Matter. Big supporters now and fundraisers for the Defund the Police movement because they did research now. They did research. And NASCAR found that the women that they want as fans, they don't want men anymore. They don't want all us old 60-year-old redneck motherfuckers watching the damn race on the TV or buying the baseball cap, buying in that swag there. No, sir. No, sirree. They don't want us anymore. They've given us the big bulbous hairy knuckle middle finger and told us to take a hike because they want millennial women. And they did a little research, I heard, and they found out that millennial women are big on the defund the police thing, which means they're big on the Black Lives Matter thing. So that's where they're going. They're embracing the religion of Black Lives Matter. Goodbye, NASCAR. Goodbye, baseball. Goodbye, professional sports. You've all embraced the religion of BLM. No, it occurs to me, Iran is a totalitarian theocracy, right? The nation of Iran is a totalitarian theocracy. But you can probably, I'm going to guess here, you can probably attend sporting events there. I believe they play soccer. You could probably go to a soccer game there without having the Shia version of Islam rammed down your throat halfway through, or at the beginning of and halfway through and throughout the game of soccer. That's the big game, I think, over in the Middle East. And Iran being a totalitarian theocracy, I'll bet you can go there without having radical Islam actually shoved down your throat. But not here. Here, you get the radical religion of black supremacy and cultural Marxism shoved down your throat. And that's what we have to look forward to here in this country if in our next election the Republicans, and I hate to say it, that we're stuck with the Republican Party, but I think we are. I think that we are stuck with them as our choice. And that's what we're going to have in this upcoming election. It's a choice between cultural Marxism and these Republicans, who the vast majority of are useless. Let me tell you something about politics. There are good people who run for office. There are some good. I'll tell you a story real quick about a guy. We'll call him Daniel, okay? And he was a law enforcement officer for 20 plus years, I think 22, 23 years. And he was injured on the job, and he had to retire. He wanted to continue serving his community. So Daniel decided to run for the California Assembly. Because he had this in him. It was in his DNA that he wanted to serve his community. He wanted to give back to his community. His whole family had been in law enforcement. That's what he was trained in, and that's what he did for 20 some odd years. But once he became injured on the job, he had to retire. He had to step down. He could have taken a desk job probably, but he didn't. He took his retirement and decided that the next phase of his life, to serve his community, to continue, would be to run for office. And he did. And he won. And he was a Republican. He went to Sacramento. And, of course, being a Republican, he was... Now, I failed to mention something. He didn't have a huge campaign budget. He didn't go to any of these professional fundraisers to raise a shitload of money for him. He just raised money with a few donors that he had. He didn't want to have any special interest thinking that they owned him, right? Because he was a good guy, man. Daniel was a good guy. So he didn't have a whole lot of money left over after the campaign, which he won because he was in a really Republican-leaning district. And off he went to Sacramento. And because the party that is in charge doles out the assignments of office space, for instance, he was given an office at the Capitol. That's what you get. You get an office, and it's given to you by the party that's in charge, and whoever the head of the assembly was at that time, the California State Assembly, gave him an office. The office they gave him was a broom closet. And because he didn't have any money, didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars left over after the campaign, he couldn't rent office space in an office building nearby. He had to take the office space that was given to him by the California State Assembly leaders, who happened to be Democrats, and he was a Republican, so he ended up in a broom closet. Literally, I shit you not, a 7 by 9 foot room. One desk that he purchased. He purchased the desk at a thrift store in Sacramento. Had to borrow a pickup truck to bring the desk over to his office. Didn't have a phone line, so he used his cell phone. He did have an assistant. But the assistant didn't have any place, didn't have her own desk, so they shared the desk, and they used their cell phone devices to stay in touch with their constituents and whatnot. He did have an office down here in Kern County. Daniel did. It was a tent that he had in his garage. So he took this tent and he set up the tent in, because he didn't have an office down here, but he did, but again, it was a tent. And he set it up in a park so that his constituents could come by. He was down here, I think, 4 days out of the week at his office, which was a tent. Because he didn't have any money to rent an office here because he didn't have a whole lot of donors. Didn't have a lot of campaign donors. And he rented, and he couldn't rent an office space, so he had a tent. And his constituents would come see him and come meet with him at this park in a tent. You know, Daniel served his community proudly as best he could for 2 years, one term. And then he retired, didn't resign. He retired. He said, no, I'm not running for re-election, Jazz. I didn't know him really well, had dinner with him a couple times, talked with him on the phone a lot. Danny was a good dude, and he could have served his community well, but he did not want to play the game. He refused to play the game. He didn't want to be beholden as a politician to a bunch of special interests, so he didn't have a big consulting firm raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for him for a campaign that, frankly, only cost him a couple of grand in advertising, filing fees and things like that. But he was so mistreated by the opposing party and had absolutely zero support from the local Republican Party. None. Zero. No, another guy named Jim. And Jim was, he wanted to serve. He wanted to run for office, and he did as a Republican. And Jim went to several Republicans who had large sums of money, politicians here from Kern County, and asked them, could you help with my campaign? They said, yeah, we'll get back to you. They never did. They never did because they were too busy, you see, out raising money for their next campaign. So as we go forward into this election cycle that will begin next week when all the advertising starts, or next month, maybe not next week, but say in 2 weeks, 3 perhaps at the most, we're going to start seeing the ads for the different propositions that are coming up on the November ballot. We'll see the ads for the different politicians running for this office or that office start popping up not long after that. Remember, all of those ads take money. And in order to get the money to buy the ads on television and radio and in newspapers and put up the billboards and send out the circulars and the flyers and the brochures that'll come in the mail, you got to have money to do that. Where do these guys get the money? Donors. Special interest donors who donate all that big money. So those ads look all slick. I love the ads. I love watching the ads. Don't you? I sure do. Especially when they run over and over and over again, repeatedly. just one right after the same one. You see it over and over and over again. And there's that politician who's running for re-election, that big smile, looking all sincere, you know, the way they surround themselves with normal people and look all sincere and like they really care. And they always see them out and about. They have a montage of maybe 6 or 8 elderly people, 6 or 8 young people, some kids, perhaps a Mexican family or a black family, you know, to show that they're accepted by the minority community of our community, and they'll show them out. I love the one with them wearing the hard hat. You know, you'll see the politician out at a construction site sometimes, right? He'll be opening up, he's got a hard hat on, and he opens up, and maybe he's holding some blueprints, and he's looking at the blueprints and looking up. There's a lot of that, too, a lot of that. You'll notice that. You ever notice that in your political ads? A lot of these politicians in the TV ads, and they're looking up. What are they looking at? Who knows? Who knows? We'll be right back. Continue the show right after this. More of the Jazz McKay program on Twitch.tv, Facebook Live, the Jazz McKay Facebook page, and the Jazz McKay Show YouTube page. Stick with me.
The Jazz McKay Show is on.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by okra. Yes, when searching for a repulsive vegetation to liven up an otherwise tasty meal, more people choose okra than any other semi-edible. This announcement paid for by the National Association of Farmers, who want to see how many dumb city slickers we can convince this skunk is actually food.
King Coco's Crunchos! The legend is true.
Give me that crush!
Nice try! But only kids can have Coconut Crunchos!
That chocolatey coconut crunch in every bite. Oh, I can almost taste it. I gotta have them Crunchos!
Stop resisting! Stop resisting, sir! Stop resisting! Stay down.
What happened?
He's going to jail. That's what happened.
This is some bullshit!
You alright?
He's fine. He just doesn't want to go to jail.
You sitting on my back, man?
Sir, be quiet.
Yo, you sitting on his back?
He was trying to steal your cereal, right?
I mean, it's this cereal. He can have it.
Man, I'm just hungry, man. They don't let wolves in stores, man.
Step back, guys. I'm going to lift the offender up. We are now going to our feet, sir. Let's go, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, I could be eating these kids, but I'm out here eating cereal.
Hey, it's cool. We just give him the cereal.
No, only kids can have Coconut Crunchos. You know that.
That's a whack law. This fool know he eat Coconut Crunchos, and you ain't no kid.
Let me do my job. I said back up, sir.
Coconut Crunchos is a part of this balanced breakfast.
Speaking truth to power. You're listening to the uncommon voice of the common man. Jazz McKay.
Welcome back, buddy. It's the Jazz McKay Show. We going a little long today. I don't have a problem with it, do you? You know, the thing of it is, oftentimes in the radio business, which I spent 45 years in, give me some of that soulful, organ music. Oh, baby, baby. All too often in the radio business, baby. On Fridays, the guys would phone in their shows, you see. And that's the way it is. You know, Fridays, I remember listening to Ralph Bailey, and he had the best shows ever on Fridays because he would do everything in his power to get off of that radio station as soon as possible. And I remember that, listening to Ralph, because we used to work together at KNZR. And Ralph Bailey come on at 3 o'clock. I'd be in my car, you know, pulling out of the parking lot, 3 o'clock. And Ralph would come on, he'd sign on his show, Great Googly Moogly. And this is a show with the talk radio host you've been waiting all day for. Yeah, I'm Ralph Bailey, and it is so 6 o'clock right now. It is so 6 o'clock right now. He's saying that at 3 o'clock, you know. He was just looking so forward to getting off the air. And he wanted you, the listener out there, to know it. I can't wait to get the hell out of here. Oh, man, I can't wait. So then they just sort of phone it in. You know, it's the radio guys for you. They get a cushy-ass job where they work basically, well, I was going to say work 3 hours a day. We work a lot more than 3 hours. Hell, I work a lot more than 3 hours doing show prep just for this dadgum thing, right? And I don't get paid to do this. But that's the thing about radio people, you know. They just, they'll skate, man. And I'll tell you, well, let's see what we can do. It's Friday. I don't want to talk about you. Hey, and tell his producer, hey, Bob. Yeah. Can you call the psychic? A what? Grab your Rolodex and look up Simon the Psychic and give him a call. Let's do a segment with Simon the Psychic for an hour and a half. And that's an inside joke for radio people because you do the psychic on a Friday for an hour and a half. You know, you get a psychic on the air, and you give out the phone number, 399 zippity doo dah. Just call us with your questions for the psychic, 399 zippity doo dah. And what happens is the phone lines light up like a house of fire because everybody and his brother wants to call in and ask, should I get this new job, and is my girlfriend going to leave me, and all that other junk, and the psychics are just there making it all up. And you as the host of the show, you don't have to do any show prep for a show like that. When you got the psychic guy on, you got Simon the Psychic, woo, woo, and you take the phone calls, and everybody calls up and asks the psychic question. You just sit back, all you're doing basically is picking up phone lines, and you sit back and you just let the psychic do the show for 90 minutes. That's kind of the way I always looked at having guests on my show. Anyway, having guests on the show really means, for the most part, especially if it was a book author, you got some author on your show, and you just, and the thing, a little inside baseball about how talk radio and this works in morning radio too, whether it's rock and roll, top 40, whatever, and you got a guest on, and there's actually a website now. It used to be a book or a magazine or whatever it was. A publication came out twice a week for radio people. And it was called the Radio Interview Report, and it was full of names and phone numbers of authors of books. Most of them were books that they had paid to publish themselves, that were willing to do a last-minute interview with you, and they would even send you. Oh, look, there's one of them calling right now. Yes, indeed. They would even send you a sample questions. Could it get any easier? Okay, I want you to think about this for a moment. As a listener to radio, could it get any easier as an interviewer than to book a guest who provides you? You don't have to read the book. You don't have to do any research. You don't have to do shit to interview the person. And they send you a list, usually a bigger piece of paper than this. This kind of looks like a school voucher, though, doesn't it? It sent you. Let's grab something, a big piece of paper, and they send you this, and you've got it right there, and it's a list of questions to ask you. Make it sound like you, as the host of the radio show, have actually either read the book or done the research on your guest that you're talking. How did you come to write this book, Bob? And then Bob answers. And so they answer the damn thing, right? You know how that works, Bob. Bob's the producer of this program. So that's what you do on Fridays in the radio business. You figure out a way to take it easy on Fridays, okay, and talk radio. And I just never did that, And to me, I loved being on the radio. I love doing this. Why I do this without any. I don't get paid to do this. It'd be nice if somebody said, hey, Jazz, we love that podcast, and we want to pay you to do it. But that's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. That ain't going to happen. Ain't nobody paying the old jazz man to do this shit. I'm guarantee you. But you know, the thing of it is, you got to put a little something into it. Oh my God! Yeah, okay. Daylily brought something up here. Now you brought this up in the chat room here on Twitch. For those of you watching on one of the other platforms, Daylily says, "quote I always like the ones talking about interviews with the pre-recorded answers." You don't know how true that is. We used to get services offered to us, a service, you know, a show prep service in radio that provides you a number of different things. Could be comedy bits, comedy sketches, could give you, in fact, I still get one emailed to me. I think it's called the daily prep sheet or something like that. I signed up for it. It was free. And it's like goofy, stupid news. Let me see if I've got one in my inbox over here, and I'll give you an example. If I do, I don't know, because it doesn't come. Oh, here we go. Interprep. That's the name of it. Interprep. And they send you a prep sheet. Okay, this is exactly what you were talking about here. Well, not exactly, but this is along those lines. In fact, let me do this real quick so I can show you this, all right? Because I want you to see it. Hang on a second here. Display capture. I've got to do this in order to make this happen. I have to hit display capture and then hit that button. Okay, now I'll go back over here to my AOL. Yes, Jazz McKay has AOL. This is, you see this? Can you see this, folks, at home? This is radio show prep for Friday, July 24th, from the creators of Interprep Pro since 1993. Now, let me scroll down here. Here's 1 year older, okay? So these are birthdays. 1 year older is a creative way of saying the celebrity birthdays. Michael Richards, 71. Now, you know who Michael Richards is. He was Kramer on The Dukes of Hazzard. No, he was Kramer on Seinfeld. Kirsten Chionoweth is 50. Chionoweth, I have no idea who that is. Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, is 51. Wow, really? Elizabeth Moss, 38. Ross Byron is 41. I don't know who these people are. A bunch of people that I don't know because I don't follow a lot of celebrity stuff. And then it's followed by something called News Attack. The FDA is... Okay, let me try and do this. I'm sorry. Let me try and do this. Let me get in the zone, as if I was on the radio. The FDA has warning consumers about hand sanitizers from Mexico, which may contain a toxic ingredient. Don't rub it on your hands or ingest it. However, it works wonders on dandelions. That's supposed to be a joke. Did you follow that? That's supposed to be a joke. However, it works wonders on dandelions. Hand sanitizers from Mexico. I have no idea. Anyway, it goes on. Here's a bit for you to do called Guys Are Insecure. Ladies, you're not the only sex. What? Ladies, you're not the only sex that's insecure. Guys are, too. The Huffington Post asked thousands of guys what makes them insecure. And here's a few responses. Skinny arms. Previous boyfriends, skills in bed, hair loss, not being in control, and blah, blah, blah. And it goes on. And this particular one is free. But here, if you click on that, it'll take you over to... their professional, their pro site. You see, Interprep. You can look this up on your worldwide interwebs. Interprep Pro, giving you 15 times the show prep found in our free service. Get up to 10 hours earlier than our free service in a weekend edition, blah, blah, blah. And you can sign up and it'll cost you $1,000 a year or some nonsense like that. One of the show prep services that they provide for you would be open-ended, what are called open-ended interviews. or answers in the clear. Answers in the clear mean that there's the questions are sent to you on a piece of paper in a, I imagine now in the modern age, you download it off the internet, and then you get, we used to get a disc. Sometimes you'd actually get an album, a record album, which I have some of these. I have some of the old Show Prep record albums behind me under my stereo. But you'd get these things, and you would cut up with tape, or nowadays using Audacity or Cool Edit Pro on your computer in the production room, a fake interview, which sounds like you're interviewing a real celebrity. But the thing of it was, they weren't real. They weren't real interviews. I could never do that. That was one of my problems. I could never do that. Daylily, thank you for bringing that up. The pre-recorded answers. I worked with a guy by the name of Rick Dees back at KHJ in Los Angeles in 1978. 78, late 78, early 79. I was his producer. And Rick Dees in the morning, 58 degrees. Man, there goes another phone call coming in. I should have unplugged the phone. Oh, this is a good one here. Hello?
Thank you for choosing Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and Discover Card. We would like to reward you as you have been making your payments on time for the past 6 months or more.
No, I haven't.
We're excited to inform you that you may qualify for 0 to 6% interest on your credit card debt. If you still owe more than $3,000 in your combined credit card debt, press 1 now to avail this offer. 1 now.
We get these calls all day, every day.
Thank you for this morning. How are you?
I'm okay, man. What's up? Hello? Are you there, sir? See, they hung up on me. I was going to have fun talking to some guy in Istanbul about my credit card that they want me to transfer. They want to get your credit card information over the phone. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'll pass that right along to you. Yeah, I'll give you my credit card number. We'll pass that right along to you. Where was I? I was talking about Rick Dees real quick, and I'll get back on subject about politics and shit. But when I was working with Rick Dees at KHJ, it was my first actual paid job in radio, 1978, 78 and 79. And I was off the air, and I was answering phones and making him coffee. I was doing producer shit for the guy. Kind of like what Bob over here does. That's right. And so what I did was I would arrange, this is one of the things we did, okay? He didn't like doing interviews. So part of my job was to do the interviews for him. You follow? He didn't like talking to celebrities. So I would do the interview in a production room, turn on a tape machine, get the celebrity on the phone, whoever it might be. Did an interview once with Jermaine Jackson. Now, I interviewed Jermaine Jackson, but it really wasn't me. I mean, I was talking to him, but the interview was going to be, the questions were later read over the air by Rick Dees. And so I did the interview with Jermaine Jackson for 15 minutes or whatever it was, and it took me to do, and then cut me out and inserted Rick Dees' voice, and then they played it on the radio. So that's what you're talking about there, Daylily. That's one of the old radio tricks from way back in the day. I don't know. In some ways, I'm glad to be free of the fake world of radio. One of the big things in radio, of course, this time of the year, is that the sales department at the radio station gets a boner because we're coming into political season. And I understand why the salespeople get a boner, because they're going to be making a lot of money, all right? Because it's time for political ads. All the political ads. Oh, yes. All the politicians, and they got money to burn. Man, they got money out the ass. They love getting their money. They got to have the money, man. Get me some money and buy ads on every radio station. We ran ads I couldn't believe it, man, on a basically conservative radio station like KNZR when I was working there here in Bakersfield, and we were running ads for these left-wing loons running for city council or some shit. I'd be like, man, dude, what a waste of fucking money. Why are you buying? Why do I have to run your stupid ads? And the thing about, I will say this, and this is true of most of the stations that I worked at. It didn't matter. You got an advertiser. Let's say you got a car wash, or let's say you got a dry cleaners, or a plumbing service, or an extermination. Let's say an exterminator. Let's say you got an exterminator who advertises on your radio station. You can't make fun of them. You can't. As a host, if they spend money on your radio station, you can't make fun of them. Oh, man, don't. You may want to really bad. Maybe their commercials are really, really horrible. Maybe their commercials have little kids singing in it. Is there anything more annoying than little kids sing? Daddy watches what for you, fop. Fuzzy boozy bozzy booty bop. Fuzzy boozy doozy daddy dop. You can't understand a word that the kids are singing, right? But they got little kids singing in their exterminator commercials. Fuzzy boozy bop. And you want to make fun of it, but you can't, because they pay the bills and the advertisers, you can't make fun of it. One of the things about running political ads, though, when you ran the political ads, you could make fun of those motherfuckers all day long. And 99% of the time, your boss won't get pissed at you. And the sales department won't get pissed at you. Because maybe the politician gets pissed at you, but screw them. They're still going to buy advertising. They're going to spend that damn money. So it's a one advertiser on radio that you could mock and ridicule and make fun of are the politicians' ads. That was the best part. And believe me, I was good at it. I was good at it. Because nothing is more annoying. Am I right? For the listener, and I look at radio, all those years that I was in radio, I was looking at it from the perspective of a listener. And that's probably why most of the companies that I worked for hated me, because I viewed what I did on the air as if I were somebody out there listening to it. And so I did, and I had great ratings. I always had really great ratings, but I was hard to work with because the boss couldn't tell me what to do. I never had a boss. I mean, it depends. In some cases, I would have a general manager, a program director that I actually respected and liked, and I cared about them. And yeah, they gave me good advice and I took it. But for the most part, I would just smile. And the boss would say, whatever you did this morning on your show, don't ever do that again. I don't ever want to catch you doing that again on your show. Don't ever say that again. And I'd sit there and go, oh, I won't. I promise I won't. And what did I do the next day? I'd do it all over again. It's kind of like Facebook. When Facebook kicks my ass off of Facebook for whatever reason I get kicked off of Facebook, do you think I'm going to learn my lesson? No, because once I get back on Facebook, you damn well know I'm going to do it again. Web Billy down here is saying that some commercials should not be on the air. Or they should be reworked. You are not kidding. That's the problem with radio today. And this was where I could do. I don't have to be on the air to do good stuff on a radio station. I could be behind the scenes as a continuity. What would the word be? Where I would kind of work between. I would be a conduit between the production coordinator. That's the guy that sits in the studio and actually records the commercials and all that junk, and the salesperson. And I would kind of like be an in-between so that the product that we produce, the commercials that we would produce for the advertiser would actually sell the product. Because there are two people in that process. The salesperson, okay, you got three people in the process. The salesperson, the client, in other words, the advertiser, and then the producer, whoever's producing the commercial, and they're usually the production director of the radio station. You got three people involved, okay, three different people. There are two of those three people that don't know shit from Shinola, and that is your salesperson and your client. They know nothing about radio. I don't care how long the salesperson has been in the radio business. They don't know shit. And they will do anything that this person, that's the client, right there is the client. And this is the, okay, let's do this. There's the salesperson and there's the client. It's actually the other way around. I'm sorry. I apologize. Here's the advertiser. Here's the client and here's the salesperson. Two people. We got to make this the promo. We got to make a promo out of this. Okay, let's do it from the top. Okay, in the radio business, when it comes to producing radio commercials, you have three people involved. You have the client, okay, the client of the, it would be the advertiser. Then you have the salesperson. That's the second person that's involved. And then the third person is the one that produces the commercial. That would be the production director of the radio station. Okay, out of those three people, there are two people that don't know shit. And that is the salesperson and the client. They don't know shit from Shinola. So you got your client, your advertiser, and you've got your salesperson right there. Okay, those two people. There's just so you know, that's the salesperson. Right there's the sales. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's the radio sales guy, and here's the client. Now, the radio sales guy, I don't care how many years he's been doing radio, he doesn't know shit about listeners. He doesn't know shit about producing commercials. He doesn't know shit about what sells. And this guy over here is the client. He's the advertiser. He knows how to make widgets, let's say. He knows how to make widgets, but he doesn't know how on earth to tell people about the widgets. So here you got two people don't know shit from Shinola, and who decides what's going to be on the air? These two morons, okay? You need to have somebody in between. A fourth person is a continuity guy or something in there. That'd be me right there, who brings it all together, who understands that people listening to the radio, and Web Billy, tell me if this is true or not, that the people listening to the radio, number one, you don't want to hear kids on your commercial, okay? I don't care how cute you think your son or your daughter is. If you're you own a dry cleaning service or an exterminator, we got two exterminators who advertise on the radio here in Bakersfield who insist on putting little kids in their commercials. That is the biggest fucking mistake you can possibly make. There's nothing more irritating than especially little kids singing. And you don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear, hi, I'm Bob Killian. I'm Jim Killian. And I'm Brady Killian. What the hell's the kid doing in the commercial? No, don't put the kids on. You don't want to hear kids singing. You don't want to hear kids talking. Don't put your kid on the commercial. Okay? Absolutely not. We won't allow that on this radio set. That's what you need the fourth person for, is the person to tell the salespeople. You know, because the sales here, and this is the reason why it's an important job. I think I'm talking myself into creating a position in radio. This is why you need this person, this coordinator, okay? Because you need a bad guy. You need a guy to call up, Bob's Exterminator Company. Hello, Bob. Yeah, this is Jazz. I'm the continuity coordinator for the advertising department. Yeah, I know you've been dealing with a salesman. Yeah, Jimmy. But let me tell you something. We're not going to be able to put your kid in the commercial. No, nobody wants to hear your fucking kid, okay? No, Jimmy doesn't know I'm calling you, but I'm just telling you right now, we're not putting your fucking kid in the commercial, okay? That's bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it. And as soon as somebody hears your fucking kid in the fucking commercial, they're going to change the fucking station, and we can't afford that, okay? All right, that's just the way it's going to be. I don't care. I don't give a damn if you like it or not. I don't care if you're spending money. Okay, I'm not here to talk about the money. I'm here talking about our listeners who don't want to hear your fucking kids singing a damn song on their commercial. Okay, bye-bye. That's what needs to be done. Because the salesperson has to be the nice guy, all right? And the production director, the guy that's producing the commercial, I don't know nothing, man. I just press the buttons. And record. Here's the microphone. Go ahead and do it. That is what has to be done. Ken Specker, you know exactly what I'm saying. You need a bad guy to step in for the sake of the radio station's listeners. And you need somebody that actually listens to the radio. Because for the most part, people in the management of the radio, like the general manager and all that, they tune in and listen for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they're, especially with talk radio, then they're off listening to their classical music collection or some other, white person shit. Okay, but you need somebody in the company that is willing to tell the client, to tell the advertiser, no, you're not doing your own commercials. That's another thing, okay, that really, oh, God. Don't get me started on the clients doing their own commercials. There's one guy here who does his own commercials that actually has, I've warmed up to this guy. Is it Stockdale Heating and Supply, something like that? He's an old geezer who does his own commercial. He's okay, but for the most part, hi, this is Bob from Bob's Plumbing Service. We are always on time for your plumbing. Anytime you need something plumbed, call us at Bob's. Give us a call. We will be there 24 hours a day. No! You need something better than that. You don't need... I just hate hearing clients do their own commercials. And bad jingles. The only thing worse than a bad jingle is a bad jingle that's sung by children. Don't do it. All right? It causes people to... Stockdale Air. Okay, now Daylily in the chat room says Stockdale Air. I like that guy's commercials. Do we have Stockdale Air commercials? Let me check YouTube just in case. I doubt there's a Stockdale Air commercial on YouTube, but for those who don't know, I would like to give you an example, and I seriously doubt that there is. But you never know. I have found commercials. Stockdale Air Bakersfield. I don't think there's going to be, but you never know. No, there's no. I wish there was. I'm going to have to record one of his commercials one of these days. Because actually his commercials, he does his, he does his own commercials, and they're not bad. They're kind of wholesome. They're kind of homey, and this is whatever his name is from Stockdale Air, and we will fix your air conditioning unit. Why do you, he's okay. I guess maybe he's grown on me over the years because he's been around forever. And I remember we started my business, and I started with one truck and Raphael and me started our company 72 years ago today. He does okay. I kind of like his stuff. But that's a position in radio that radio stations need. They need somebody to come up with, go ahead and let the salespeople think about what they're going to do, but before they actually go in and do it and put it on the radio and drive you away. How many of you, when you hear a commercial that you really hate, I mean really hate, I don't care what's coming up next. I don't care what song is coming up next that the DJ said. I don't care what the DJ said, what song is coming up next that you cannot wait to hear. Whatever song is coming up next. And coming up next, it's More Than a Feeling from Boston. Oh, I can't wait to hear that song again. More Than a Feeling. Oh, I can't wait to hear that song. But you hear that one bad commercial that you hate so fucking much you can't stand it, and you hit that button and change the station. And how many times do you hit the button and change the station, and the station that you change it to has the same fucking commercial on the air? There really needs to be somebody in charge of taking care of that shit, I'll tell you what. There's got to be somebody. That's a great job for me. Because I don't mind being the asshole that calls up the client and says, that fucking sucks. I know. You know what? I'll do that. I'm glad Web Billy, Is that how we call you? Or is it Webley? Webley says that we should put some really bad commercials together. I'm going to work on that because I this is what I've done: radio and television. I did radio, television commercials for years. That's what I did. That's what I did. That was my job for 45 years. Is doing radio commercial. I hosted my own radio shows, but I also, you get off in the old days. The last 15 or so years, it's not the case. But in the early days of radio, when I first started, when you got off the air, you had an hour, maybe 2 hours of production time in the production room of the radio station, and you'd go to your box, and there'd be a stack of scripts for you to produce commercials that had been assigned to you. So I was producing commercials. I've been doing it 45 years. I know a little bit about what, and as a listener, I look at it from the perspective of a listener. As a listener to the radio, there's some things I cannot. One of the, the worst offenders today for me are public service announcements. They're public service announcements. I have been in this town since, when did 15, 16 years maybe I've been in Bakersfield. And there are still commercials. How many of you guys can relate to this? There are still commercials. How many of you were listening to KNZR back when I first started, before Rush Limbaugh was ever on KNZR? When I first started, there are public service announcements today that are being aired on KNZR, PSAs, that were on the air, that have been on the air for 15 fucking years. And the reason why is because somebody at that radio station is so fucking lazy that they don't bother to refresh the PSAs. And it's a minor little thing. And and the management will say, "Oh, we don't have anybody to do that." Hey, hire me. I will sit there and I will be the continuity director for your radio station. And I will see to it that public service announcement, there is nothing worse than, Billy, what is that in your hand? It's my sense of adventure, Mom. How many times have you heard the Yellow Booger commercial over in KNZR? You know, the one about the banana slug? Who? What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Stephen. I'm your sense of adventure.
I mean, my God, how many times do you hear that same, or, I don't care what it is. A chick in a car and a car won't go, and that's the way you spell Chicago. How many times here in Bakersfield do you, if you're listening, oh my God, the same freaking public service. And why is it? This is a gun town. Do you know, for those of you that are outside this area, boy, I'm down to a whopping 3 viewers on my show right now. I got to get out of here. I'm boring the shit out of everybody. But honest, God's honest truth, this is a gun town, okay? We have more gun stores in the city of Bakersfield per capita than any other city I've ever lived in. But yet there's not one National Rifle Association public service announcement on any of the radio stations in this town. Not one. 2006, was that when I got here? Around 2006? I think you're right. It was wait a minute, 6, 7, 8. No, it would have been before that because I arrived here. It would have had to have been 2004. So, because I got here just before the 2004 election. I think. Because Bush was still president, right? Anyway, I'm just, sometimes I am just amazed at how little attention is given in the radio business to just the little things. There's an old phrase about business. There's an old business phrase: stepping over dimes to pick up pennies. Do you know what that means? Stepping over dimes to pick up pennies. Now, what that means is that in business, you're concentrating on the wrong things, and it's the little things in the radio business that matter. You don't have a lot in your control as a manager or a program director. In fact, what's the use of a program director when you don't have a program to direct? In talk radio today, you don't. The only thing that you can do as a program director in talk radio today is you should be coordinating the commercials, because it's all syndicated. KNZR has one show that's local, Terry Maxwell. In fact, he's on right now. Is he? No, he's on in 20 minutes. Terry Maxwell is the only host that we don't even have a program director at KNZR. They fired that guy. He had just come to work when 6 months before COVID hit, and boom, he was out the door, poor guy. His name is still in one of the promos, and that's another thing that kills me. Promos. The promo shit. It is update your fucking promos. What do you have to do as a program director of a radio station that 21 hours of that radio station is syndicated? You can't call, you can't hotline Rush Limbaugh and say, don't ever say that again. Or more likely Glenn Beck. I mean, there's nothing for the program director, if there was one, but let's be honest, folks, there isn't a program director of KNZR. That's why Terry Maxwell is running around crazy free, doing whatever the hell it is he is doing. No, at 12 noon, KNZR still does, they play the national anthem. And well, I'm here. I really try to care. I'm here. I appreciate the underscores, by the way, in between in between. I really try to care as a screen name for you, because I don't have to sit here and try and decipher what your screen name is, because you have to have a space. You can't have a space between. So anyway, that's inside shit, and it's not worth getting into. But I appreciate the fact that you're following me on Twitch. I do. I really appreciate that. But so anyway, back to what I was saying before, and then I'll get out of here, folks. It's Friday, and we're already at 2 hours and 30 minutes into this program, and I'm normally on for 90 minutes. I've already sunk way too much time into this show today. I am really putting it out there for 3 viewers. Okay, one more example of political ads for you. One more set of fake political ads. Are you ready? You guys want one more? I may as well do it. I may as well play it, because I put all this stuff together last night, and we may as well go ahead and play one more set of fake political ads to mock politicians and advertising agencies. Here we go. Ready? Is everything set, Bob? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
The JAZ McKAY Show is on.
Hello, America. My name is Rick Hope, and I'm sure that you will make the right choice and vote for me in this upcoming election.
I want a balanced budget.
I want an end to the war.
I just want people to like me.
I want education reform.
Is that too much to ask for?
Today, our nation faces an unprecedented amount of challenges. My plan for our future is simple. I will offer nothing innovative, nothing revolutionary, nothing that involves progress, but you will still vote for me because of my empty promises and great hair.
Rick Hope's monetary policies allowed me to afford a new cardboard box to live in. If Rick Hope does not get elected, I will sell drugs to your kids.
I am completely full of shit.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people who run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things. A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright, or Bill Fulbright, or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now, in order to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear. You want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? Or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? I'm Philip a Mouth with Farts, and I approve this message.
Hello. It's me, candidate for president. A person with a face. A person whose hand gestures are definitely not weird. My advisors say that these sepia-toned photos of my parents are proof of my human origins. Wherever I go, so do lens flares and fields in sunlight. Machines spark in the foreground when I tour the few remaining places where they manufacture things. Here are a bunch of different people, matched with career signifiers, like a helmet, a uniform, or a stethoscope, on the off chance that you identify with one of them. And here's a guy with a belly, a beard, and a hard hat. I talked to this guy, I think. My favorite place is a local diner, because it makes me seem like a regular Joe, and makes white people feel safe and full. But I'm not racist. Here's a Hispanic family who doesn't mind being associated with me. And if you're thinking about retirement, here are some old people smiling. Thank God they're still alive to vote. I love the sunrise, and I hate thunderstorms. But my opponent disagrees with me. My opponent thinks thunderstorms are good. And these people, why are they in your backyard? What do they want? Are they there to take all of your money? Are they there to kill you? Probably. Because I'm not president. Yet. I understand there's a lot to worry about right now, like healthcare and taxes and foreign policy and thunderstorms. My record shows that I can construct a narrative by keeping the details pretty vague. Families, the economy, faith, and education are all things I've addressed in non-specific ways. But I'll put these particular words right on the screen because they always get applause. Great, nation, troops, more, less, budget, security, veterans, children, jobs, future, strong. See, you can't deny that these people are clapping. Did I mention I'm super capable? I can stand behind a podium. I can look out a window. I can shake hands. I can make the skin around my eyes crinkle when I smile. I can make my family hug me. I can even pose for selfies. Right now is a critical time because of the past and the future and this American flag. I'm a candidate for president, and I endorse this message. Unless you disagree, in which case, I had nothing to do with it.
God bless America. You're listening to the uncommon voice of the common man.
The Jazz Man, JAZ McKAY.
Show on Twitch.tv. The Jazz McKay Facebook page, and also on the Jazz McKay Show YouTube channel. Be sure and go to the YouTube channel if you would, and subscribe. It's free. And a lot of the stuff that we do here on the program, I post over at, a lot of the videos that I produce, we post over at the Jazz McKay Show YouTube channel. I would really love to have you guys join me over there. The more subscribers I get, the better. YouTube has offered me the opportunity to try and monetize my page. I already tried that once, and they said, nope. I said, nope, no, we don't think so. We don't think that you're right for monetization, but you can try again on August 16th. So every 30 days or so, I'll be attempting to do that. And the more viewers that I have, watch as many of the videos we have there as possible. Do me a favor and share. That's a big thing, too, by the way, in helping me to get monetized. You can help me get monetized here. Here's my plan. Okay, I got 7 viewers right now on Twitch.tv. If you're watching me on Facebook or you watch me on YouTube, if you watch the show there, I need you to follow me on Twitch. And it doesn't cost you anything. There's no cost involved in following us on Twitch.tv. It's a kind of a bitch to register with Twitch. See, I'm a natural for advertising. It's kind of a bitch to sign up with Twitch, but it's worth it in the end. Boom. Because I'll explain why. If you sign up and you follow me on Twitch and you come in here on Twitch and you register and all that, and I know it's a bitch to sign up on Twitch because they're real anal about screen names and passwords, which is a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing. They're real anal about that because they don't want your identity to get swiped. That's what they're trying to do, is to protect your identity. Don't forget, Twitch is actually owned by Amazon. I know. I hate Amazon too, man. It's bizarre. How can you hate? But you gotta look. I don't give a rat's ass. As long as they let me do this, I'll continue doing it. Now, here's the reason why I need to get that number that's right up there in the corner that I'm looking at. That says 7 viewers. I need to multiply that by a lot. I need 75 viewers. I haven't talked a lot about this in the past, but I'm going to start talking about it more because we have to build that up. I need a minimum of 75 viewers. You don't really even have to watch. Just sign on and then walk away from it. I don't give a rat's ass. But if we... No, I do. I want you to watch the show. But I need 75 viewers on average over a period of time in order to get myself up to the next level in the Twitch thing. Okay, that's a technical term. It's an inside Twitch thing. It's I need to get up to the partnership level. And the way that works is getting 75 viewers on average for this show. And I hope that you, 7, who are watching right now, can help me do that. Because if I do, then I can create my own Jazz McKay Show store. And we can start selling you T-shirts and baseball caps and ashtrays and coffee mugs and all kinds of shit that I will design myself. Yes, I will. Oh, and how about masks? Look, I designed this. Here's my first mask design. That's my The share to Facebook button should be down on this side, I think. It should say share, and if you hit that button, it should give you a choice of like Reddit and Twitter and Facebook. I really try to care. I think it's right down here. At least it is when I look at it. But yeah, this I made this and I posted that me wearing this mask on Twitter, on my Twitter page, and go to Twitter and follow me too. The real Jazz McKay, because there was a fake Jazz McKay on Twitter a long time ago. But I made this because they've banned all QAnons. They banned all QAnons on Twitter. So anyway, yeah, but I've got some designs that I have put together for T-shirts. If you're not pissed off, you're not paying attention. T-shirts and coffee mugs and baseball caps. Jazz McKay Show, kiss my ass stuff. Anyway, if I get to that level of having 75 viewers on this show on average for a while, or I just get up to 75 viewers at one time, folks, I can monetize and start making some money. Did you like that? I'll show you a couple of other designs if I can figure this out here. Let me try that. I got a T-shirt design if you guys want to see it here. Yeah, this is I think would be a great. Well, here's my mask design. This is what I wanted to do for a mask design, and this would be primarily for people in California because of the lockdown and all that shit. Wait a minute. There we go. I'm going to have to reformat this. Hang on here. And there it is. Let's get that out of there. There you go. That's my mask design. That's my mask design. Or that'd be a great T-shirt design too, don't you think? For Gavin Newsom, our governor here in California. In fact, we could do one. We could do this. If you're, this is what I'll do for you. This is what I'll do for you. This is what I'll do for you. If you can help me get the 75 viewers, get me to the partnership level on Twitch, I will have T-shirts made with your governor's name on it. Wherever you live, whatever state you live in, with that same design right there. And we'll even personalize it with your name. Oh, yeah. Dear whoever, I don't care where you're at. If you're in Michigan, dear Gretchen, with the picture there like that. We could do that as a design for a T-shirt for you. I just got a ton of different ideas for. Here's one right here. There. What do you think of that? That's a T-shirt design that I made up. Let's see if I can see. It's some of these. The ratio is off. We're getting way loose here with it. There you go. That's a T-shirt design that I came up with. And if I can get the 75 viewers, I can get I probably would do a different beard. I'd probably use the same. You like that? You like that? Because I can do that. We can do that. And I won't. The thing of it is, Twitch will take care of everything. All you'll have to do is click on the link on my Twitch page to my store and buy anything you want. Baseball caps, like I said, coffee mugs, T-shirts, whatever we come up with whatever design that you want. But I need those 75 viewers to watch the show. And then we can take it to that level. Okay, that's what my plan is. I've got other designs too. Let me see if I can. Here's one right up here. Wanted to do this design. We'll see if we could do it. And there it is. Want to do that design? What do you think of that design? That would be for all of you in the digital unit. You'd all be sworn officers of the Jazz McKay, the Jazzman Militia, our digital unit of the Jazzman Militia. These are just some of the designs that we're working on here at the Jazz McKay Show for T-shirts and various other designs. We had this one, of course. We haven't completed this one yet. Here we go. Now, if we could, we would do this one too. For there you go. Keep America Great 2020 with Trump with a big evil, an EBR. We would have that T-shirt available for you. All these T-shirts we would have available if I could get to that miraculous. I mean, we've been working on these designs actually long before we ever started the Jazz McKay Show page, because we just, we were wanting to come up with different T-shirt designs, and we did some T-shirts over the course of the past couple of years with a local T-shirt company here in Bakersfield that I love this. And of course, there's the mask that we would do for you. Here's the Jazz McKay Show mask. That if we do that one, we do that. You can't get that anywhere. I mean, I did. I was able to get one. There it is right there. You want me to wear a fucking mask? Okay, there's the mask I'll wear. Look, you insist I have to wear a mask? Here's the mask I'm going to wear. What do you think of that, huh? You'd be surprised how quickly they tell you to take that mask off. You'd be surprised how quickly they tell you to take off that Confederate flag. No, that's not a Confederate flag. That's just that we're paying homage to the Dukes of Hazzard. That's all that is, man. We're just paying homage to the Dukes of Hazzard. That's the whole point of that right there. I don't know if you guys can see this one. Let's see if we can bring this up. I don't know if it's going to be too big. But there you go. This was my design of if this year, this is actually going to be an album cover. We designed this one. Bob actually helped me with this one.
Yes, I did.
Yes, Bob helped me design this one. If 2020 was an album, if this year was an album, that would be the album cover. If 2020 was an album, that would be the album cover. That's the album cover that we would put out there. But I'd like to make that maybe into I don't know. What do you think? Perhaps make a T-shirt out of that or something. I mean, who knows? We could do that. All kinds of different ideas that we've come up with here on and then of course promotional stuff too. We would you want the. You want some, let me see here. Let me look here real quick. We had some other designs for Epstein Didn't Kill Himself. We had some designs for Epstein Didn't Kill Himself here. Here's one. Here's one of our T-shirt designs for Epstein Didn't Kill Himself. I love that. We have a bunch of Epstein Didn't Kill Himself designs that we're working on, that Bob and I have been working on. There's that one. There's that one. Let's see, what else have we got in? I'm going through the file, by the way, of Epstein Didn't Kill Himself T-shirt designs. Just a bunch of different design ideas, Of course, that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites right there, Spicoli. Oh yes, those were the days, boys and girls. And then of course here we have Steven Crowder. All sorts of. But anyway, so you get the idea. A bunch of T-shirt designs that we've been working on, but we can't sell these T-shirts and we can't make them until we get to 75 viewers. I think all we have to do is just do it once. Isn't that right, Bob? You're nodding. Don't nod. I think we only have to do that one time that we have 75 viewers, and then we can expand and do the. Wait a minute. Hang on. I got to show you this T-shirt design. Oh, I got a bunch of these. These would be promotional designs for the show, for the Jazz McKay Show. And here's one for you right here. And how many of you would like this for a T-shirt? I know it's in bad taste. But come on. We'll do anything to expand this thing. You can find a lot of this stuff, too, on my Facebook page because we have loaded a lot of these onto my Facebook page. It's the Jazz McKay Facebook page. It's JAZ MCKAY, JAZ MCKAY. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this one. I don't know if the ratio is good for this particular shot. There we go. Listen to the Jazz McKay podcast to find out how you can help send death metal bands to beat the shit out of Antifa. That's one of our designs. How would that be for a T-shirt, huh? Actually, that'd make a great flyer. That's one of the other things I used to do years. I have done a lot of shit in my life, including making band flyers. I used to charge bands money to make their flyers. Way back in, I think we had another one too. Did we have another one? Another one of the death metal thing. There we go. We'll send underprivileged death metal bands to beat the shit out of Antifa, and I think that's a worthy cause, don't you? I think that would be a very worthy cause there, folks, to get some of these underprivileged death metal bands out there to just really just kick the snot out of. Wait a minute, I'm trying to find. No, not that one. Not that one. No, there's another one here. I know there is. Oh, I thought there was. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, nope, that's not it either. Hang on. I'll find it. I believe this one is it. We call this one the Hunter Cat. If Hunter S. Thompson were a cat, freedom is something that dies unless it's used to its fullest to experience the freedom of the Jazz McKay podcast. That's really not, I don't think that would fit on a T-shirt. I don't think we could make a T-shirt like that. But anyway, so you get the idea. That's the in general idea of what we wanted to do with different things, different experiments that we were on, different experiments in T-shirt materials and whatnot. So if you guys could, I'd appreciate it. That would be great. If you could get as many as possible, friends, relatives, get people to sign up to follow. But it's not just signing up and following the Jazz McKay Show, because we really want to get people to experience the show to its fullest so we can get the 75 that we need, 75 people that we need, as many as possible that we can get to actually watch the show, take part in the show, be a part of the Jazz McKay Show, and experience it with us. And the more we have, we got the 75, the closer we get to yes. Oh, you saw that one, the very bad show. This is a very bad show. Do not, we took the route for some time with the promotion of this is a very bad show. Do not watch this show. Oh, that reminds me. Hang on. Well, here's proof right here, okay? This is just creepy. This is just, have you seen this one yet, folks? And now where are you going to see that? Where are you going to see that right there other than the Jazz McKay Show? Where would you see that if not here? If you were not here to see that, where else would you find that? Only we make those kinds of videos for you. Only we on the Jazz McKay Show work tirelessly every single day of the week to bring you the finest in the weirdest of all video presentations. Okay, the absolute, and that was probably one of our better ones there. You're not going to find that anyplace else. You're not going to find that anyplace else. And then finally, this one. This is you brought up the Wibbly. You brought up the promo that we did as a very bad show. Do not watch this show. Do not watch the Jazz McKay podcast. Do not watch it. And we have a video of something similar, and I'd like to play it for you right now.
Coming for to carry me home, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, I come from the south, from way down south, where the corn and potatoes used to grow. There's great big elegant pictures show, and my old Kentucky home is a French chateau. Way down south in Dixie, swing low, sweet.
Diego, I think we got something there.
I'll say we have. Carry me home. Oh, I come from the south, from the deep, deep south, where the fields of cotton just die with blight, and the pappy reads Esquire with delight, while my Alabama mammy plays bridge all night. Way down south in Dixie, swinging low, sweet chariot, come on, come on, come on, carry me home. Oh, I come from the south, got this south in my mouth. Uncle Tom's cab's got a new routine, lights across the ice in the limousine, while Simon Legree shakes his tambourine. Way down south in Dixie, swinging low, sweet chariot, swing low, sweet chariot. Listen here, you won't let me speak. Don't you know Swanee River is a dried up creek? Come on and carry me home. La da, la da, ho, 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 da 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 da.
Bravo, bravo! Maybe next time you'll maybe next time you'll listen to me. All right. Get as many people to follow this dadgum show and actually watch it as you can. That's your homework there, boys and girls. Yeah, you will be permanently harmed and damaged from watching this program. The Jazz McKay Show. I gotta get the dancing girls ready. And that's gonna wrap it up for me. You guys have yourselves if Twitch still lets me do this. God bless America. God bless our law enforcement, and death to the New World Order. I'll see ya.